Wait, why'd you stop?
Okay.
Those are the things that I knew would happen, probably.
Now I'm
I
disappointed.
stopped
want
the
a
cigarette count
count.
because I realized, after the doctor scene, they're just doing a thing. I'm not being funny with this one. I've got a lot of notes that are like, alright, his first scene that he's introduced, when Constantine himself is entering the scene, before he's even on camera, he's dropping a cigarette on the ground. He enters the next room, he immediately lights the next cigarette. Next room he enters, he sets on the counter.
Yeah.
He leaves that room, he lights another cigarette.
He's so disappointed when that one goes out, too. He's just like...
Is there anything we want to say about Constantine before we start? It's a movie from 2005.
Constantine needs no introduction.
Okay, but I haven't read the comics, so my
Me neither.
Oh, good. Our only point of contact is 2005 Constantine the
My introduction to Constantine was in the Sandman show.
Alright.
So...
I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't even know Constantine was a comic book character or a DC character or anything.
I feel like there was also a weird, really dark DC,
There's a cartoon?
Cartoon, yeah, that had Constantine as, a central character. Vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, I read about that after I watched the movie and I looked it up.
I haven't seen it, but I know there's a cartoon.
Do we want to talk about the history of Constantine? Or I was going to mention some stuff at the end. What we can do at the beginning.
I'll take some Constantine fun facts.
Alright, Constantine fun facts are...
Or history.
First introduced in 1985 in the Swamp Thing comic.
Nice, good start.
Received his own comic in 1988.
88. Was that... When was X-Files a thing? Was that 90s?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I gotta admit, I've never seen an episode of X-Files in my life.
Do you think Constantine inspired all that?
I'm sure there's other influences other than Constantine.
But
Might be a wild claim to make without looking it up, no.
That's... okay, I'm sure, but, who played that, cliched role? Or what media did they derive Constantine from?
Before we continue on this, it just occurred to me, none of us mentioned our names.
My name's...
That is a source of confusion.
My name's Alias.
Alright, Alias. I already called you Noah. And again, I'm June.
And I'm Jack.
And this was completely natural.
100%.
There's is there that style of character or story before Constantine?
I didn't look it up.
The PI supernatural,
I'm sure. Well,
It's gotta have been. In the 80s or something?
The Witcher was also written in the 80s, I believe.
Recent.
Witcher's fantasy though.
Yeah, but it's still that sort of there's always fairy tale / paranormal, demons and whatnot. Yeah, the only other fact that I have, the people who wrote the Constantine comic book, they all swear that they've seen him in real life at some point.
Wait, really?
What?
They don't necessarily believe it's actually Constantine, but they've all seen a guy in a trench coat with who looks like Constantine that just kind of wanders in and out of wherever they are. And a couple of them said that they didn't want to mess with that, they could have got up and investigated, but it's better to just not
let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Grant or heard anything about Grant Morrison's involvement with hypersigils?
No.
No, I don't know anything about that.
It's kind of like how people have worked on it or had worked on it saw Constantine, but it's the other way around, where he put intent into his comics or pieces of work that then had impacts back on his life. And it was with his concepts that he put into it, so he claims, and everyone else reading it and I guess solidifying it, right? It has this feedback effect metaphysically.
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So first, I have the description of the movie.
let's walk through.
So the description. So I watched it on HBO Max. It says a police
Same.
detective enlists JC's help in solving the death of her twin sister, taking them through the world of demons and angels that exist just below the city of contemporary LA.
Yeah, but
In the setting, Hitler must have had the Spear of Longinus for some reason. When his foot goes to the ground and he finds the spear, it's wrapped in a Nazi flag.
Yeah, that's because there's like if you've seen Hellboy,
Yeah.
that's in their lore too. Where it's
Uh,
like Hitler had the spear that pierced the side of Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what the Spear of Destiny is.
I feel like
yeah.
religious symbolism and what is it called? Cinematic depictions of Nazis go hand in hand.
How does it end up in L.A.?
Well,
no,
it was
you
in
travel
Mexico.
across the
It was in
country.
Mexico.
Was it Mexico?
Yeah,
Mm.
so it's the movie
Oh, yeah,
starts.
he crosses the border at some point, doesn't he? Yeah, the moment he finds the Spear of Longinus, he walks out into the street. Car just, like, smashes against him and just, like, crushes itself against him. He gets up fine, keeps walking.
That car crash scene, though, as soon as you walk down the road, kind of cool. Well done.
Yeah.
Surprising. It's not that new of a movie, and it still held up.
Oh, yeah, he
Car
becomes
crash?
one with that crumple zone.
Yeah,
It
the CGI
communicates
for the
a
car
good
crash
amount
was
of
actually not that great.
Huh?
The CGI for the car crash was really weird.
Alright,
thought so? I thought it was
looked
fine.
weird.
Even for 2005.
I thought it looked fine. I thought it held up to today.
I don't know. I don't
No?
think so.
Maybe I don't see that many car crashes.
I think it only looked weird because it was, like, really excessive. The whole car just kind of, like, crunches against him.
Yeah, it was like kind of cartoony. Like I don't know.
I'd take
Like a
cartoon.
comic?
No, not even in a comic way. Just
Uh,
in like a silly 2005 CGI.
In a Wile E. Coyote kind of way.
I guess it's fair. Cut scene. He's walking. Well, he's walking, and then cut scene. What's
On
the
to the
next
next scene. Does anyone have the name of that priest that was friends with Constantine?
scene? Before that, don't we see that woman, finding her daughter or whatever, that other woman, on the ceiling or whatever?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
scene
She
of
makes
that.
tea. She walks over into the next room. She's got, crucifixes on her wall and stuff. And she sees her daughter is crawling all over the ceiling.
Which I made a note about that specifically because she when she sees that she falls down, and it's one that if there's something that was unbelievable in those moments, the fall is hilariously bad.
Worst choice.
Worst choice?
Easily.
What do you mean?
Not running instead, not closing the door.
No, the fall just looked really bad.
Oh, alright,
It
alright.
it was not that. This person was not into the stunt work.
Constantine
See the
is
tie?
called in before you even see the man on screen. He tosses a cigarette out of the car window. It enters the scene before he does. This man will spend the entire movie smoking, and it plays into his character. He is slowly ticking away at his death with these cigarettes. I love it for him. It is excessive. Very well done by the movie.
He doesn't smoke that much.
Yeah, he
He
does.
does smoke. It's
He
like-
smokes so much.
They make a
That's
big
how much
point
I
of it.
smoked. Well, he smokes that much because they say that. But throughout the movie, he didn't smoke that
He's
much.
always smoking in almost every scene.
It
Or
definitely
actually,
is
maybe
more
every
in the
scene.
early scenes than later scenes, but I think that's because he's in more action-related scenes later.
The smoking is kind of a metaphor for how much he doesn't really care about living, and then towards the end, he wants to live, and then
See, the cigarette's a metaphor.
Cigarette's a metaphor.
He decides to light it.
Mm.
It's very poignant. What? I was
No.
just making fun of Fault in Our Stars.
yeah, I
Also
know.
makes the end scene make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Right? You're like, oh!
Anyways. I'm going to say that 50 times. We will get to that.
all right. So we're back in LA after the Mexican guy finds a spear.
Yes.
He
The
goes
lady is possessed.
I like his handy little key ring. He whips out this little key ring with a bunch of different symbols on it. And she's like tied to the bed and squirming there, right? And he walks up to the window and he starts going through each one, like holding them like in between like the position of like the sun from the window and her on the bed until just the right one makes her writhe in agony. And I was just like, yeah, how handy. Where can I get one of those?
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then he goes, all right, this is the one. That he presses that one against her forehead.
Do you think he's categorized? Like, do you think it's all like Roman Catholic based, and he's categorizing a type of demon, or trying to find out which one it is by what it reacts to the most? Or do you think Constantine could have like the Fae episode?
I don't think he went in knowing it was a soldier demon because he's surprised by that later. Apparently, that's like a category of demons that's like important to the setting. The key ring, I do not recognize from anything. So that might be a specifically more of, like, John Constantine thing.
Folklore. Like, in my notes I have Witcher shit. He's talking to the demon, right? And then it, like, comes, like, it's trying to break out of her neck. Mm-hmm. And then my notes say, punches neck demon.
He does punch neck demon.
Then he demands a mirror at least 3 feet high. And then he says, don't look at it. And the guy looks at it. And of course.
Now,
he gets old? What happens
he, like, withers away, right? Or, like, his soul...
He doesn't, like, die.
I don't think he died.
He's just, like, and, like, old. And gets knocked to the floor. He sees hair turn white and shit. You just saw him punch a neck demon. Why would you look up?
I don't know. Someone's always got to look up. This is where we meet...
I thought there was more action in this movie.
The most unimportant character, Chaz.
Oh, Chaz!
Woo!
He is the most useful character, but they do not let him off the bench until
I'm convinced.
Fully acknowledged.
I'm convinced the middle third of the movie they forget he exists. Yes,
they do.
I know.
Okay, Chaz,
which is the right answer. He was in the movie the perfect amount.
No.
I would have hated it.
I think we.
I need more Chaz.
You
Absolutely.
need more Chaz. We don't
need more Chaz.
I need more Midnight. But anyways,
yeah.
Chaz, introduced at the beginning as the sidekick, the apprentice Constantine. I don't know why Constantine took the apprentice because he does not. They do not establish that he was stuck with this guy. He just happens to have an apprentice that he doesn't want to bring on any jobs.
He was vindicated.
What do you mean?
He was vindicated. John Constantine has that trope of like, anyone who gets close to me dies, so why even bother? I mean, he treated his own addiction that way and his own death that way. So it only makes sense that like he also treats Chaz that way. He's just like, I don't care. It's like a Harrison Ford complex.
They don't
then why does he have Chaz?
I don't give a fuck, kid. What?
You don't know who Chaz is, where he came from, how he met Constantine.
Why can't Constantine get rid of Chaz, and how does he manage to do it for the middle half?
We don't know anything.
You know what did do that, though? With Shia LaBeouf? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Would you say that's a good movie?
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's actually good.
I've never seen any Indiana Jones movies.
Whoa. You can avoid 2. That's fine.
Holy shit. How did you manage that, Jack?
Same way I've never seen Godfather.
Oh,
I've never seen Godfather.
There's a lot of movies that I haven't seen that I probably should have seen.
I watched John Wick over the weekend as well. I know this is a big derailment. Mid as fuck. Also,
don't say that. I still have to watch it.
It feels like fan fiction.
But
this
really
movie does.
Oh my god.
This movie is
Have
mid.
You seen it?
No.
Okay.
This movie mid.
This
movie?
Yeah.
Mid?
Mid.
Why is it mid?
It's mid.
It's mid.
Yeah.
Alright, because there was less Chaz, is that why?
More Chaz might have been worse.
I feel like we're jumping the gun on this one. I'd give this movie a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, mid.
8.
Mid.
No,
8?
not 8.
8. Oh.
Let's continue with the mirror.
Great way to deal with the demon. You point a mirror at it, the demon ends up stuck in the mirror somehow, and you just fucking jettison the mirror out the window.
But first he says, Chaz, move the car.
And Chaz moves the car
and Chaz,
like 2 feet.
Yeah. It throws the mirror out the fucking window.
Throws the mirror out the fucking window. Eats a demon into the car.
Why couldn't everyone
And Chaz is all like, oh, you didn't say move it this far. You would have said move it.
Next, he finds a child's drawing.
Can I ask, why do you think it's a child's drawing?
Crayon.
I use crayons.
It's pretty obvious.
Now,
Okay.
I think
Very
that drawing
Heisenberg.
is only there because they could point at it to remind you that the spear exists. I think they were desperately scared of the audience just kind of forgetting about the spear, because to be honest, it didn't need to be in the movie.
He needs a special way to come through. He needs divine intervention. Then it's just the aesthetic. So they can have the car crash, so they can have a looming threat. It's the looming threat of the movie that we know about and John Constantine doesn't know about. Also, him pulling that flyer off the wall, it's like, cool. It's like, ah.
No, I think it's the Catholics. Catholic lore creep. They need more artifacts.
They need more artifacts? It wasn't.
They need more artifacts. Anyways, this leads into what I want to say is this soldier demon at the beginning really fucking screwed the pooch on this one. It was completely unnecessary. They already had half-breed demons in the world. They didn't need this soldier demon coming through for their plan to work out. All it did
They're not allowed to break the rules, though.
They did anyways.
Yeah,
so I think the soldier demon was just trying to get out, like, for himself.
Yeah. And John Constantine was like, this is a bad
draw
sign.
a picture of the fucking Spear of Longinus. The
So
Spear
he
of
found
Destiny.
Well, maybe it was the
Everything's
girl.
bubbling. It's a simmer. You know what I mean? Weird things are happening. This shouldn't
The
be
girl
happening.
was
That shouldn't
possessed, so I
happen.
think it was the girl who drew the picture, but she probably had, like, you know, some sort of, like, memories or flashbacks from the demon, so...
All I'm saying is if I were the big bad, I would
plane.
be incredibly mad if one of my minions was going to the physical plane, drawing pictures of my plot device, and then putting Constantine onto my trail. That demon is probably dead in hell.
No, she's a psychic. Because they try to come out through psychics. So she, like, had a dream about it, or, like, saw it in a vision or whatever, drew the spear of
That
destiny.
might be a good point.
And then this demon's like, weak point.
Alright, plot hole fixed. This is going up to a 7 out of 10.
I'm telling you,
You're
it's
winning
six.
me over now.
So John Constantine's just like, that
Yeah, but it was
doesn't
too
make
hard to get
sense.
to. 6.5.
6.5. Alright.
No, it's cool. It's intellectual.
I don't know. So, the next
More
scene
Chad's crazy.
is Angie,
More Chads.
the cop, confessing at the confessional thing.
Wait, before we get to that, can I bring up the little bold priest guy, right?
Oh, yeah. The guy who...
Constantine tells him to take off the charm. Constantine's leaving the scene. We see Beelzebub is up on the stairway watching them from above.
What?
Flipping his little coin.
No, no, that's Balthazar.
Balthazar. Sorry.
That's Balthazar.
Balthazar. Hell of a name. Love the man. Alright.
Angie's confessing.
Yeah.
I don't remember what, but
She-
stuff, because
that-
she's troubled.
Why do I always
Oh,
find
yeah,
the
she was
person?
wondering,
Why do I always know?
how does she always know, like, the right place to shoot, or the right, you know, why is she always, like, doing this, killing people?
She knows. She talks about repressing it later.
And then, the next scene is...
Wait,
her-
can I just say, she says, "Forgive me, Father, I shot, like, another man today. I wonder if there's
Ooh.
something wrong with me."
Intriguing.
And then his response is, God's got a plan for everyone. Don't let your guilt shake your faith. That is wild. That is mental.
Hey,
Yeah,
What
that's
is
pretty
he
crazy.
doing?
I gotta be honest, that probably is a very realistic back and forth. Am
That's
I
right.
wrong?
The subtitles gave me his name, Father Garrett. He's got like 4
Oh,
lines
yeah,
in this, and every line he says is ridiculous, cursed, and terrible.
Don't let your guilt shake your faith.
To killing people to manslaughter, Noah.
God's
She's
got
a
a
cop.
plan.
She doesn't say that she's like on cases and that she.
But this is a Constantine world where demons do exist and people...
Don't know that.
They do know that.
They don't know that.
As far as the priest knows, this is a normal person.
Only psychics. If she's going up to people and being like, I always know how to shoot, she only feels safe saying it in the confessional because she talks about how they condemned her sister and put her in a mental asylum because she saw things. And she was like, and I lied so I wouldn't have to do it. And I feel guilty over that. And then Father Garrett says, don't let that shake your faith.
No, but that's not what she's talking about when she's talking to Father Garrett.
That was doing a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's in the confessional.
Yeah, so after that, you see, which I didn't realize at the time, is her twin sister. I thought it was her.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a
so
dream.
too for a moment.
Well, it kind of was her.
Then you find out later.
Yeah, so she runs and jumps off the building, and that's Isabel, her twin sister.
Angela's dreaming and seeing through Isabel's eyes when Isabel jumps
Kills
off
herself.
the roof of the hospital.
Which,
Okay.
that scene, like, below the water of, like, from up above and the body just falling through and crashing, I'm like, very cool. Very 2000s
Her
cool.
body falls in
Right.
front of a giant cross on the front of the hospital, falls through a cross-shaped window
Yeah.
on one of the roofs of the hospital
But the effects...
into a cross-shaped pool in the hospital.
You can tell
This
me
is such cursed Catholic
See,
vibes.
I don't even notice those kinds of things.
You can tell me
I
that...
notice it everywhere.
I'm saying, like, the stunt work of the fall was very cool and very well done.
Oh yeah,
Like, it was
absolutely.
a very aesthetic scene. I mean, albeit
And then
intense, not intense, but messed up. But yeah.
we see that John Constantine is dying.
How long have I
See-
got, Doc?
Yeah, he's at the doctor's, right?
Just
And they don't really, like, explicitly say, right? Or do we just assume he's dying from smoking or some cancer?
I just saw in my notes, scrolling through on the earlier scene, the only thing I mentioned for Chaz is hold the damn flashlight straight, son.
After we find out he's dying, it goes back to the spear guy.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh yeah,
dun.
John,
He's
one
like a
cancer.
walking
Who'd have thought?
plague. Like, when he walks, everything dies.
Ooh, I said just like me in D&D for that.
Repeatedly through this movie, like I mentioned earlier, they need to remind us the spear exists. Because it will not tie into the movie until the last 10 minutes.
It exists out of aesthetics.
Yeah,
The
it
reason-
feels pretty, like, lackluster, like the big bad guy.
He's not the big bad guy. He is carrying the thing for the big bad guy.
He's like the head
He's
honcho
possessed.
in the background.
He's not even the head honcho in the background. Because you've got a demon that's commanding other demons around, and Balthazar.
He's an omen.
He is an omen. He is an omen.
He's an omen. You don't know what's going on. John Constantine doesn't
Yeah,
know
at
what's
this
going
point,
on,
like,
but you
no
do
one
know
knows.
something's happening.
All he is a carrier for a thing. You don't even know if he's possessed.
You can't have any introduction to
assume he's
that
possessed.
in the front of the movie because they don't learn about Mammon and what is potentially happening until the end of the movie. So you're just with John Constantine. You're like, yes, something's going on. What's happening? This is kind of weird and seems foreboding.
Only
that's-
argument I want to make, cut all these little side scenes with the spear, remove the spear from the story, give me more Balthazar time.
No, Balthazar, worst character.
Maybe,
Completely
but if they
boring.
had more time with him, they could have done more. They
No.
built up the menace on this
We
guy.
haven't met
Balthazar
Balthazar
should have
yet.
been that guy from
well,
The
we
Office,
technically we've seen him in the stairway,
too.
right?
The Office?
So when back
forget about it.
in the apartment, they took the charm off the priest, right? And in doing this, he kind of sets the guy up to be attacked at some point by
That-
the demons.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why he told him
It's
that.
because he probably can only use his psychic powers when he doesn't have the charm on. Would
Or
be
it's a
my
defense.
guess.
Yeah.
It's a defensive charm. Nobody fucking uses it. The entire story, it's just him giving the charm to people and them taking it off and not using it. I think part of Constantine's thought process here is if demons do attack my friend, he'll call me for help, and
He
then
did.
it will have, sussed out who I need to be dealing with. I think that's part of the thought process there. Does not work out for him. Absolutely goes against Constantine's whole thing of, I don't want anybody getting too close. I need to work alone. I don't want to put people at risk. He is putting this man at so much risk.
Next, he goes to see the B-Man, which
B-Man.
is a weird guy with weird artifacts.
I love B-Man.
B-Man's cool. B-Man's
Lives in the
definitely
back of
up
a
there.
bowling alley.
Very cool.
I would like to say something about B-Man's artifacts. He's got a dragon's breath thing. There's like clearly a flamethrower.
But it's a mystical flamethrower.
Yeah, a mystical flamethrower.
It's like
he's got
white
like a
godly
beetle in
fire.
a box, and he's got like holy shavings from when someone tried to bullet shavings from someone trying to shoot the Pope. And I love the idea that if
Really?
you shoot a gun at the Pope, the bullets become holy. That is amazing to me. That is the one I want to focus on. It's really funny, but the beetle is
Symbolism.
the one of all these that they focus on.
But the holy water vials?
Oh yeah, holy water vials, kind of important later.
Yep.
Let's keep going.
And then
now.
that's when we meet Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Okay, yeah,
I like how
next
they
scene.
both show up. It's him and Andrew.
Next scene, they go to like a church / library thing. I don't know. They go to
Yeah.
a church, but it looks like a library on the inside.
Angie first, right?
No. Constantine arrives first. Angie is literally right behind him as
Right,
he
right.
Gabriel,
there's-
absolutely gender.
Well, they're seeing different people too because she's there to see like the father.
Garrett, yeah.
And Gabriel just I guess hangs out. Does does Garrett know that
I don't know.
Gabriel's like a full ass angel? Like
I don't think so. Because when Constantine first looks at her, you can like see the wings and stuff.
Mhm.
can you?
And yeah, then
Well,
it
when
kind
he
of
walks
goes
in
away.
and they all go like.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of showing the audience like Constantine knows, but everyone else like doesn't know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But because he can see things. Well, why didn't she see things?
Yeah, she chose not to see things when she was a child, now she can't.
But then they have this little like snit where it's like first come first serve. She's like my thing's really important, and then they both get to see the person they want to see. She just makes an assumption that it's about Constantine being there to see the what is that? I want to say reverend, but I don't think that's very Roman Catholic.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a priest. Anyways, on to Gabriel, right?
Gender.
100%. Bryn right here. I need to mention a core conflict of this is that Isabel committed suicide. Maybe under the influence of demons, but she committed suicide. And the Catholic belief is that it's a mortal sin to commit suicide. Now, I've got all sorts of theories as to why that's a mortal sin, but I don't want to get into that. It's a lot of mortal sins just kind of exist in a way that it feels like it's there to control people. That one's probably fine because, it's bad to commit suicide, but it feels weird to, tack that onto someone, to, bundle them in with murderers and whatnot, in, the ranking list of sins on the way out, and, guarantee that they don't have a way into heaven. Anyways, she specifically says, maybe not at this scene, but at some point she's going to say that her sister is Roman Catholic, which means she could have murdered herself because that would mean she's going to hell. And
she does say that in a later scene.
I think...
But we are introduced to this concept with Gabriel, where John Constantine's arguing with Gabriel. And
but she's also arguing with Garrett at the same time. The reason why she came to see Father Garrett, same day, by the way, is to talk to him about the whole suicide aspect of this. And to convince him that her sister didn't commit suicide so that she can find her way into heaven.
Well, yeah,
that's not
they
how
won't
it
give
works.
her
Like getting
a Catholic
a
funeral
Catholic
because
funeral,
she committed suicide.
Oh, getting a Catholic funeral. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't be like, hey, priest, you gotta change
No.
this.
You can't, convince a priest to have him put a good word in with God.
I kind of didn't care about that conversation, I gotta be honest. I was just being like, get back to Constantine and Gabriel.
I have You're Fucked.
You're fucked.
I don't remember why.
That's Gabriel to John Constantine.
That
As
is
she's
the
talking
Gabriel
about
to
that,
yeah.
Constantine scene.
she alludes, which we learn later in the movie, about John could see things when he was younger. He confesses? Not confesses. He opens up to Angela at some point later in the movie to tell the whole story about when he was younger and blah, blah. He could see things. He ended up trying to kill himself. But that's what's being alluded to with the scene with Gabriel right now, where she tells him, because of the life you took. So we're just left to, hang for the next majority of the movie.
There's tension between them.
This movie
Of being
focuses
like-
a lot on suicide.
It shows a lot about how Gabriel looks down on the humans,
Yeah.
but they are half human, half angel.
Yeah.
So,
But
Well-
also...
But he's like, or she tells him you can't buy your way into heaven, and he's like, I've done so much for you, which is funny that John Constantine would all right, he's gonna die. I gotta go to the church. I need to speak to the angel. Have I done enough yet? I want to get into heaven. I got a year. I get a year. Fine, fuck it, whatever.
So Constantine is
he is kind of
fucked 3 ways from being able to actually, get into heaven. And Gabriel really lays it out in this scene. She does a really good job of showing that, there is no mercy for this man. He's got no way out of the situation he's in.
Yes.
And it really makes you not like Gabriel.
yeah.
Yeah, just
It's kind of a setup for later, too.
Mm-hmm.
The next scene is the priest going into the trance with newspapers.
Oh, he's reading all the...
Yeah, then he hears Isabel, and then takes out a magnifying glass to read this news headline that's already in a big-ass print. And so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I didn't really pay that much attention to that.
I just thought that was really funny because it's like
He already read it
that
psychically.
headline.
The next scene I remember is her watching the video of her sister's suicide.
Oh yeah, she literally looks at the camera and basically tells her, "Go to next location." She looks at the security camera and says, "Constantine." That is how you do a
All
plot.
the phones start ringing.
First, I want to go back to after the pool scene. There's a moment where she is called in to investigate her sister.
Yeah,
Like,
I noticed we skipped
she's
over
pulled
that,
out of
but-
the pool, and I just wanted to say, why is she there? Sure, she had the nightmare, and then all of a sudden she's on the scene looking at her sister, which is how you know it's not her
The
that
other
jumped.
detective tries to stop her.
Yeah, tries to stop her, but
In-
is she, well, I'm saying, like, is she there for pure identification? Or, because this is like conflict of interest.
Noah, there are 2 times in this movie that detective shows up, and he fails both times at stopping someone from tampering with evidence.
Now, does she do it? Or
Huh?
do they do it both times?
He tries to stop them both times.
Oh, it's when Constantine is like...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He just gets to walk up and just kind of put his hands all over the body.
Her phone starts ringing then.
All the phones start ringing.
Why does she have so many phones?
I don't know. That movie is goofy. It's just like, you know, the magnifying glass and like, why does she have so many
Is
phones?
this where the bug scene happens?
Yeah, Bugman fights John Constantine.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Only thing
Kinda
I
cool.
really... it was alright. He just kind of wanders down to the street while getting his ass kicked by this Bugman, and the Bugman dies to a car.
Yeah.
All I really wrote for this scene is Constantine's just guzzling the fucking cough syrup that B-Man gave him. This man would love lean. Anyways.
Wait, the most important part.
Most important part?
He kicks the crab
Yeah.
after the
He
fight.
kicks the
I
crab!
was saying,
Like-
it's such an interesting scene. Like the wet city sidewalk in the middle of the street. And him just
Yeah,
like,
but
"Yeah."
like, the fight
All the
itself
bugs
was
everywhere.
like pretty lame. Like he gets smashed by a car.
He rattles the beetle a couple of times and it drives the Bugman off.
He kicks
a few
the
times.
fucking crab. Classic.
Yeah, I wrote he kills a bug monster with sick progress kills. Anyways.
It's
We'll get there.
I like how one of these soldier demons crosses over and is like, I've got a bone to pick with John Constantine specifically. Like, let me seek him out because fuck this
Well,
guy.
he's like he's the demon, like, hunter, basically.
I
you
guess
know?
he does
like,
explain that.
yeah, he's the one that sends him back to hell.
If I were Bugman, I would be trying to do as much good as possible without being found by the demon.
I don't think
When is it that like
you can't come from hell
is this
back to heaven.
is this the same scene where they remember that Chaz is a thing again? He's like, John
Uh,
Constantine, let me help.
Not yet.
And
That's
then-
coming up.
okay.
Though.
That is literally the next scene. They go to the red light district.
Well, first, yeah, I know. 2000s weird club scene.
Hold on.
2000s weird club scene.
Yeah,
He
every
gets-
2000s like movie, like The Matrix. Well, maybe just Keanu Reeves. I don't know.
But they get out. He gets in the car. And he's talking with Chaz, and Chaz is like, "I want to help," and he just gets out and starts walking through the pouring rain. He's like, "John,
No,
John, it's raining."
that
And
is
it's like, wow, yes, very astute.
that is
Thank you, my
right
young
after the scene earlier where he was talking with Gabriel. He gets into his
Oh,
car.
yeah.
He talks to Chaz.
I just didn't want
Goes
to miss
out of the
that. Him being
I was
"It's
perfectly
raining."
fine missing that. The movie was perfectly fine missing that. The
It was
movie's
almost
fine
like
missing Chaz. For some
they wanted,
reason.
like,
I wish it wasn't.
No, it's fine missing Chaz. He was in it the perfect amount. To be like,
Then
this
they're
is
like,
why he doesn't take you to the Monster Club, okay, Chaz?
The movie itself decides that it's fine with missing Chaz. I want more Chaz.
No.
Yeah, more Chaz would have been better.
More Chaz.
More Chaz would have been better.
Mhm.
I think
He got his little thing at the end.
just more.
He got his little thing at
well,
the
I'll
end.
save that for the end. I
We'll
guess.
call it that.
Not the after credits.
Alright, all I've got right is the most annoying club entry system. I'd like to say...
They were playing a perfect circle,
Is that what they were playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
which I was like, that's kind of sick, especially for 2005.
The guy in the club shows you, like, one side of a card. He looks at the other side of the card. You need to recite what the other side of the card is. It's a different card every time. The implication being, you need to know what every card is because he chooses at random.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just
You
more of
walk
like
in,
a
you
psychic
get, like,
thing.
one
Yeah.
freebie. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was just like a
I
psychic.
completely misunderstood that.
You have to memorize a whole deck of cards to get
yeah.
What the fuck?
I think it just like, keeps the normal people out.
I would have been going down those stairs going, give me another one.
So then he meets Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Love Midnight.
There's also Balthazar there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's got a bone to pick with Balthazar.
So
Established that really early on.
Midnight doesn't believe the demons. He doesn't believe what Constantine is like saying about how the demons are like getting.
Yeah, he's neutral.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a sick fucking line where he says, "Thought I'd heard thunder last night. It must have been Satan's stomach growling." He does a setup for the end of the movie where he talks about how like Constantine's the only soul that Satan would personally collect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Constantine's telling him that the demons are like able to come through, and he doesn't believe it.
Yep.
He gets pushed out.
I don't really know, like, what is the point? Well, I guess it's just showing, like...
He wants to use the chair.
I think they wanted to show... well, that's later.
No, he wants to use the chair then. And he said, I can't, I'm indifferent. I can't let you use the chair.
Yeah.
Also, it would kill you.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I missed that. Just remember, Balthazar picks a fight with him and calls him... Then he calls Balthazar half-breed shit.
Why did they have Balthazar, like, in the shadows earlier if they were just going to introduce him fully, in, like, a couple scenes later before he does anything?
He's keeping tabs on John.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, also, he mentions, like, I know that you're dying soon, and then he goes, like, Satan's hungry, finger licking good.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Love his line where he just a little lip smack.
No.
He overdoes it.
He's bad. I don't like his character. He's
I
worse
like
than Chaz.
Balthazar.
I like Balthazar.
He should have been played by Adam Scott.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy from Parks and Rec.
Which one?
He was in Krampus.
Haven't seen it.
Can we get somebody to Google Adam Scott? Here, I'll do it on
Production, can we get Adam Scott?
Somebody get me Adam Scott.
Adam Scott. I think he would have been perfect for the role. He's in Severance.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh my god!
I haven't seen a lot of
movies. He's
movies.
on the cover of Severance. Severance is a TV
We've
show
established
on HBO.
this.
I'm going to continue on to the next scene. Constantine
That
gives
guy.
a spider lung cancer as well. He does this weird thing where he takes his like whiskey glass, and he takes his cigarette, he
I said that
blows
this is
a bunch
fucked
of
up.
smoke into the
Very fucked
glass, and he puts it on top of a spider, and he fucking gasses the spider with that. And then he goes like, "Yeah, now you feel my pain, little buddy." It's like such a weird scene.
And then Angie meets with him.
Maybe he says, "Welcome to my world." It's some line kind of like that.
Yeah, I think he says "Welcome to my world."
Love that she did that.
Yeah,
I
she
think
talks.
that's the only
She
reason
tries to
that's
get him to help out her sister.
Which I said, classic cop, personal use of the badge. Because she knocks on his door and he's like, "Go away." And she's like, "I need to come in," and like shows the badge.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Angela's mentioned she's heard of Constantine a few times around the precinct, so like
They recognized each other in the church.
yeah, well because they saw each other at the hospital earlier. She was like, "Hold the L there," and he was like, "Nope."
Yeah. I remember that.
Love this man. Oh, this is where the line is. My sister was a Catholic. That means if she took her own life, her soul would go to hell. And then like Constantine says some shit like, with agony for eternity and gnashing teeth. And this is where I started writing in my notes the first of like 5 times. Just the line, "Pick a different religion." Anyways.
I'll have classic cop again, because the next scene is her being like, "Fine," and then he like runs off after her after she says something.
Oh yeah, so she leaves. She takes the glass off the spider, and then after she goes, like he sees the demons like flying after her.
Oh yeah.
And then he leaves because he's like, "Oh shit, I
saint.
need to do this." He runs out to talk to her and tells her about the whole backstory about how God and the devil have a bet to see who can influence them more without ever actually coming in contact with the humans.
That seems weird. I don't know how I feel about that, and the way that he describes it, especially with how reverent he is, I'm sure there's more complexities to it, but he's just like... He also calls God like a big kid with a or no, that's what he says. He said God's just a big kid with an ant farm. He's just observing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm sure it's not like, "It's a game!" They probably are just like, whatever. I don't know. But I am intrigued by it.
It makes sense.
It's
I
even
mean, for this
awfully
kind of
pessimistic.
universe, I guess.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think, as far as lore goes, for setting it does what it has to. It justifies everything that's happening.
Yeah, it ties it together, just enough there.
Yeah.
To keep it going.
It explains why the demons aren't going ham, but that being said, their version of following these rules, but both the angels and the demons just seem to be alright, if the only human around is the one I'm gonna kill, it doesn't matter.
Well, we don't really see any angels. We only see Gabriel, who's a half angel.
The only angel we see
that's
is
true.
the one that's actually fucking things up for humans.
And then half angel.
But I think that's mostly because they're not supposed to be, interfering.
No, the only reason that Balthazar and Gabriel are there because they are half-breeds.
Yeah.
They're half angel or half demon.
Yeah.
They're not demons themselves, even though demons are trying to get through.
Yeah.
Angels are just
There's probably some angels...
Their drinks, their energy drinks,
They're just...
their monster with the straw, just watching all this go down.
Okay, hear me out though.
Well, they're not a problem. So if they are influencing people or something, John Constantine's not going to kill them. He's going to kill demons who are trying to break through.
He can kill an angel, I'm sure. The next scene, he goes into hell. She fills that little bin with water.
I love
and he puts
rituals.
his full shoes in this.
There's a cat named Duck.
Oh, I love the cat.
Love the cat.
He's perfect. The cats are great. Half in this world, half in the other.
I wrote,
Cool.
I see him manhandling this cat, and I really hope he doesn't kill it.
Oh, the cat's fine.
Yeah, the cat's fine. For listeners at home, the cat is fine. Anyways, water in this setting serves as a portal between worlds, which means there's a lot of rituals that cross over with a little bit of self-care, with a little personal comfort. It's nice to have a little footbath, and sometimes you can visit hell by doing it.
Him just putting his shoes on. Or
Yeah.
well,
I wouldn't do it with my shoes on, but maybe the ground is probably... You probably want footwear.
So he's gonna try and look into hell to see if her sister's there, because that's ultimately what she wants to know.
Yes.
If her sister actually committed suicide.
Isabel is in hell. She did kill herself.
That rhymed. You're a poet. Isabel is in hell. She killed herself.
Yes.
Reference, yeah. Anyway,
Oh, I like when he comes back. He's just also he's tells her you gotta leave the room, and then time stops. That was a cool.
Yeah, that
effect.
was cool.
And he comes back with his cough, and he's got the smoking armband that she took off in hell, and fly away.
Yeah.
I love him jumping and then crushing the holy water against himself to come back. Very interesting.
yeah. Lot to work with there.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There's a lot to work with. This is just such a cool scene.
So,
the priest meanders his way into a
right.
Yeah, the guard has his full head inside a fridge, distracting himself. And the priest just kind of looks at the guard and keeps on, walking calmly. He opens the door, closes it, doesn't even go quietly. He just goes into the morgue. I find that ridiculous.
Yeah, this movie is silly.
This movie follows Vision Code rules for its stealth mechanics.
Yes, he goes to Isabel's body and touches it, and then it gets cursed, and then he can't drink anything. He's just desperately trying to drink, and he can't drink. I think the alcohol suppresses whatever the feelings he's picking up.
Yeah.
And he can't. He's trying to drink. He can't drink. Goes to the liquor store. Nothing's coming out.
Okay.
And then he is dying.
This is fantastically done.
He carves that symbol into his wrist as a message to John Constantine.
I don't know. I have a bone to pick with this scene.
The first thing you notice when something's wrong is when he undoes the cap on the flask, right? That he keeps it in his pocket. He tries to drink from it. You think it's empty because nothing is actually coming out.
Yeah.
He drops it on the floor, and then you see liquor flowing out.
I didn't catch that.
And then he runs through the door.
Yeah.
And he goes to the gas station. The guard shocked that he's there, but doesn't even try to do anything. He runs to the gas station. He starts popping open the caps of bottles of wine and whatnot. He tries to drink them. Nothing comes out. It looks as if they're empty until he, like, sets it down, and then it starts flowing out of the bottle.
Yeah.
So he cannot consume alcohol right now, even though it's in the bottle.
But they said he drowned
Beautifully
himself.
edited. Yeah, I think it was all a, like, illusion.
Yeah.
Balthazar loves ironic deaths. Are we at the egg breakfast in a restaurant scene right now?
Oh, wait.
I don't know.
Wait, this is where he's, like, yelling at
explains.
Angela. This is for...
Oh no, that's a little bit. We'll get to that.
Wait,
this is where Constantine explains that he tried to kill himself.
Oh, gotcha.
He explains that background. I guess it's happening at the same time as the pre-scene.
Oh, yeah. Because backstory.
This is the first scene where I wish Chaz was around, because, like, the gang's hanging out. This is where you take a moment to slow down the story to explain what's going on. Where's Chaz?
Yeah, Chaz is just not important or necessary.
Exactly. It becomes the Constantine and Angela show for a little bit.
Which, yeah, I don't like the whole...
It was the weekend. Chaz was hanging out with his family, washing the car.
Chaz doesn't have family. Window message contains Corinthians 17.
That's the what did she do, Angela? Because they're in the room and he's like, what? You know your sister. You were twins. And then he just starts berating her.
Yeah, and he's real. You're right. They're trying to figure out.
Asshole.
They go to her room and they're trying to figure out what, like, did she hide a message or something?
What'd she do, Angela?
Like, what did she do? Like, why are you yelling at her like that so hard?
What did she do?
Is where I wrote, Angela's designed that way so she can be proven wrong by Constantine. She comes into Isabel's room and is grumbling about how she'd always scare her parents with the Ouija boards and stuff, and Constantine says, you were twins, you had a special bond. Which seems like a shot in the dark at first, but he's absolutely vindicated it. I hate that. But he basically... I don't know.
Just from a sibling
this is where I really
standpoint,
started to not like Angela.
I don't like John Constantine. Why is he berating her?
He's berating her, but Angela as a character is, like, just designed to be like she's designed to be contradicted by Constantine and proven wrong by Constantine.
She's mid,
and she's really mid. This goes back to earlier. Remember, I mentioned she has that whole line where the movie tries to make her like the disbeliever character, where she's like, "Yeah, I don't believe in the devil, and none of this stuff is actually happening." But she clearly believes in this shit because she is so ridiculously Catholic. That's why she's arguing with the priest literally the day that her sister died.
I don't see why that scene had to play out like it does. That's actually a moment where I was like, God, he's an asshole. I mean, he is.
I mean, he was trying to really, like, get her to, like stop being stupid and stubborn. And, like, just,
I thought he was trying to shock her into it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, trying to get her out of that whole, like, I don't know anything. I don't, like... What June was saying.
Well, what's the point? I would at that point you just go, oh well, fuck. Then see ya.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun, I guess, dying, or you want to do something about it.
Yeah.
But you don't have any point.
He pushes her over to the window, right? And then she goes, "Oh yeah, we used to have this old communication method of writing things in the condensation on the window, so that if you breathe on it, it shows back up." Terrible method, by the way.
Yeah.
Really consistent. This is a fucking hospital. Do you realize how sterile they are with that shit?
I really
apparently
don't think
not. Well, yeah, apparently not.
Not unless
so yeah, it says Corinthians 17.
I lost my shit when this was the plot point. Actually, I was laughing my ass off because of the line read when she's in the car, because it cuts immediately from the zoom in on the window to her driving the car, going, "Hey, Constantine. There is no Corinthians 17. I was like, oh my god.
It was him saying that.
That's not
No,
that bad.
she said that.
Also,
and then he corrects her and goes, there are 21 books of Corinthian in the fucking, like, demon evil Bible.
Yeah, just call it Hell Bible.
The Hell Bible. Which is sick. The Hell Bible.
Yeah. So funny.
You have to maintain the balance. The Got Faith billboard.
Got Faith? I missed that.
I've seen this billboard. Like, this billboard's been around. Like, unironically.
Yeah.
Like, there's one outside of Adrian.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it before,
the tap, the spout, where it says Got Faith, but it's, like, turned on and wine's pouring out the water spout.
That sounds really familiar.
But it's just in the movie. I was like, ha! Like, it's in this Constantine movie, which is perfect, right? Like, that's the perfect, like, set prop for it. But I see that in real life, which I think is funny, right? It fits Constantine's version of this the religious ideology, right?
And this goofy ass movie.
Ridiculousness, right? And then, but like, I just thought that was kind of fun. Like this real life thing is so ridiculous. Like, it just works perfectly for Constantine.
Now, I'd like to add, between B-Man and Constantine, neither of them know the Hell Bible. That would be, as a demon slayer, like, job number one for me. Is just learning the prophecy that I'm fighting against, you know? That seems really important.
Didn't they have to, like, find it, or did he already have...
He already had it. He had it in his little bowling alley hobble hole.
Yeah.
They call him on the drive over and are like, hey, get out the Hell Bible.
I got it.
Break open the family Hell Bible for us.
I think it's really less of, like, a prophecy and more of, like, a book of plans. I think it's, like, secret plans. You know what I mean? This is what it's more treated like.
But they've got the Hell Bible. If they know it's secret plans, then they need to read that shit.
It's like the employee handbook for all the demons. You know what I mean? It's hard to get a hold of a Hell Bible.
Well, no, it just sounds like a Bible with extra books in it.
Yeah.
On their way over there, the
ironic death number 2
dies by bees.
Yeah.
Set design is so good in Demon's High.
I love it. He's like in the back of a bowling alley where you see like all this shit hanging from the ceiling, and like you hear at first the like someone starts bowling and B-Man seems to jump a little bit at it, but doesn't seem too out of the normal. And then every lane gets like a strike simultaneously because all the bowling pins come through.
I didn't understand.
And that's when he starts to get scared, and then he tells John Constantine, you know, John, I know you don't have very much faith, but we have faith in you. Really wild sort of superhero kind of line, which, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it is a comic book. Technically, superhero.
He shouldn't be a superhero. He should be like...
Well, I wouldn't say he's a superhero, but he's
a reluctant anti-hero is what Constantine should be.
An outlaw hero, kind of.
Geralt Core.
Yeah.
Geralt Core.
Damn straight.
Yeah, so B-Man dies by bees. Mammon is the name of the devil's son. Then it cuts back to the Mexican guy again who steals the car.
Yeah. He's coming.
Starts driving. This is just the next reminder.
It's just like, don't forget. There's this guy. Don't forget about him.
I like that he's like coming because he had to like drive all the way like from Mexico. You know what I mean?
I'll get there eventually.
Now,
just sheer determination.
Next scene that we have after
big door with shades built in.
Big door with shades built in.
Bowling alley bathroom.
Bowling alley bathroom.
Well,
no, I think his apartment bathroom. Weird scene.
Where does it have that? It's like it's a door that goes over the window. It's like an indoor shutter that's just like huge. It's like as big as this wall, and it's just big shades that he's closing. I'm like, cool. Also, set design is really cool.
Up until this scene, the relationship between Constantine and Angela is very buddy cop. But this scene changes that at breakneck speeds in a way that seems really awkward. But it does have one line that makes it kind of work with the awkwardness. Almost. If this line is where, like...
Are you talking about, like, the romance aspect of it?
Yeah.
No, it's always been there. It's like it's that, like, enemies to lovers, like, kind of trope, where they disagree.
Yeah, but
and then
we don't need love.
But the
in
jump
this story.
from enemies to lovers... I
agree, and it doesn't happen.
But they...
Even at the end of the movie.
Make it seem like it's going to...
It feels like it's conforming to like every other 2000s action movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It just has to. I mean, it's not as gratuitous.
They do have the line of, "Do I take the rest of my clothes off, or can I leave them on?" When she's getting ready for the baptism.
Yeah, that's when they.
And then he just kind of gives a blank stare for like 5 seconds, and she goes, "John." He goes, "I'm thinking." John. She says, "John," again, and he says, "On it's fine." And that is a great line. Yeah, and I wish the rest of the movie was that good. That made me love John so much.
That's the start of their awkward not romance where they almost
That's the start and end of their awkward not romance.
No, it's not even the end of it. That's just the beginning.
Well, because no. The rest of the set design is as if it was a movie where the romance was going on. Because for some reason they just like permanently change Angela after that scene.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
After the baptism, she's
after he kills her?
She's gonna be permanently changed because of what happens to her in the bathtub.
But like the way they signify that is having her hair blown out and having her have like a couple more buttons undone for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, because she's
loosened up. I was like, oh, look at her hair all nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he tells her to get into the bathtub and
holds her down by the collarbone.
Yeah, then he basically drowns her, and she's not expecting it.
It looks really weird at first, because at first I was trying to figure out in my head if the water was like edited in, because she like looks at him like a little judgmentally. Yeah. And then the word comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was acting. Well done.
Really good, yeah.
But also, like, there's a moment where before she gets dunked under, is like, for how long do I have to, like, be under the water? And he's like, as long as it takes. He obviously knew like, this is what was going to happen.
Yeah, he doesn't want to tell her what's about to happen. But
do you think it would have taken longer if she didn't break
I don't think she would have
bathtub?
agreed to just be drowned.
Yeah. Also, shed a tear for this bathtub. It's rare that you find a bathtub big enough that you can lie down fully in. It absolutely destroys this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one the time stops, that's really cool.
It's so cool cinematically.
Cool. Now, the thing is, it gets followed by the dumbest realization. She goes, I saw something rolling across the floor. Something round, but not like a sphere. She says this line, and they run back to where B-Man died, and they find the coin. I knew it was the coin when they said that, but it's such a dumb way to put it. And also, rolling across the floor is a fucking grate.
True. I wasn't paying that much attention, I guess, but that
that's how they find out it was Balthazar.
What does she see in there? Did we not see?
She saw the coin. We didn't see it when it happened, because they couldn't fucking roll this coin across the grate. So she ditches it later, and they go back and they find the coin. We see this like invisible force go through the room after she breaks the tub, and she goes, she saw something.
That's her.
No. I think Gabriel was watching.
No.
Am I going crazy?
I didn't notice.
I just know she was unresponsive.
I'll have to replay
for like a while, and John was just like, "Hey, you okay? Hello."
Then they go to the B-Man's place, right?
Yeah. They find the coin there. They go, alright, Balthazar died. And then best thing that could possibly happen to this movie happened. They create the golden gun. The cross gun. Can I talk about this cross gun?
Yes.
This thing is cast in solid gold. He assembles
it can't be solid gold.
Well...
It's gotta be gold plated.
It's gotta be gold plated.
Way too soft.
He assembles it from pieces on the table. It has this like revolving cylinder that makes it look like a grenade launcher. We see later, this thing is firing massive fucking slugs, because they have to cast these things themselves. Also out of what looks to be like gold or brass or something. It has like a second barrel underslung, which is made from like the Dragon's Breath flamethrower mentioned early on.
I didn't look this close at it.
Oh, I had to pause in a couple scenes. Yeah. So it looks like it's got two barrels on it.
Yeah, I wrote crossbow, shotgun, flamethrower.
Now, for some reason, it has a scope on the top of it. I don't know why it has a scope on this thing. It doesn't have any sort of, like, stock on it, so I think it would probably hurt a lot to shoot these massive fucking slugs. I'm talking about slugs the size of a thumb here, alright? This shit is gonna really hurt to shoot. The scope is going to be, like, really hard to use, because it's got, like, the front part of open sights added onto, like, the front of the barrel. It looks like they made a shotgun by looking at a grenade launcher, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really, really odd. But I love everything about it.
There we go. I want to say...
Oh, also, later on, when he's firing this thing, he's got, like, a second cylinder that he swaps in, which I like. But the second cylinder isn't gold-plated, so it switches from having a gold-plated cylinder to a grade cylinder. Not sure what's happening there.
Can I say,
Maybe?
as much as you have reverence for the crossbow shotgun,
Yes.
right? I just want to say, holy brass knuckles, Batman. Like, those were fun, right?
I don't even remember
brass
that.
knuckles that just
Yeah,
had
he takes
crosses
down
on
Balthazar
them.
with it. Well, he's only got one brass knuckle of it. Anyways.
Did you
flamethrower
see the weird
shotgun.
fake kiss?
Yes.
The
That
what?
annoyed me.
The weird fake.
He like
He takes out
literally
the charm that he took off the body of the priest.
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
He like reaches over her and it's angled like a kiss.
yeah, it's angled like a kiss. But he also like almost makes a kiss face. Like it's like
He
they're
does.
intentionally tricking you into thinking they're about to kiss.
I replayed it 3 times trying to figure out if a kiss also happened or if it's intended to be read as not a kiss.
I
Yeah.
somewhat remember this.
I couldn't tell if it was like intended to be like a gag.
You're
or
right,
If it was
I am
intended
It
being
was
to
just
be
like a fake, like
or if it was a bad stage kiss. It could have been a bad stage kiss.
No, they didn't kiss.
no, it's like
Because
Alright.
if they didn't kiss, they would have kissed at the end of the
they
movie.
didn't kiss. They just
Spoiler alert.
wanted the audience to be like, "Oh, I think they're gonna kiss."
Well, they
oh
won't
my
they?
god!
Constantine comes in, guns out, firing on fucking Balthazar.
Pins him to the wall.
Doesn't do anything. Constantine knows that the flamethrower is going to be useless, but he opens with the flamethrower, then he throws the holy water. And I think the reason he did this was to bait Balthazar into getting close enough that he could, like, holy knuckles of death him.
Calls him Bally.
Does he?
Yeah, I thought that
How
was funny.
the fuck did I miss that?
I don't know.
There's-
I would have been calling him Bally the whole time.
There's some interesting
Valley.
tension between Constantine and Balthazar.
I don't think there is.
I don't think so. You just want it, apparently.
I just don't think you were watching it right.
Constantine uses flamethrower on Balthazar. Balthazar laughs, goes, "Hellfire doesn't work on me. I was born Hellfire." That kind of renders the flamethrower useless for the rest of the movie, by the way. He basically doesn't use it. The flamethrower is useless by this fact. The realization
Gabriel?
that you don't use it on demons. I
No.
don't think he uses it on Gabriel.
I didn't even think about that.
Then what did he use
Flamethrower
it?
was just for effect.
Exactly. It was just for effect. He throws the holy water on Balthazar. That reveals blinking red weak points on him. Because it burns away his skin and it reveals, like, the demon's skin underneath that he can actually hurt. Balthazar tackles him, pins him against the wall. That's where the tension Noah is so invested in comes from. Initially.
I thought he I don't think you can't hurt him when he's in like human form. That's just like
I think it's harder to hurt him in the human form. This comes up later. That holy water like reveals part of the demon underneath and makes them really vulnerable. That's why the gun was working on them later on in the movie. Anyways, he beats Balthazar half to death with fucking golden like holy knuckles. And knocks Balthazar onto the table, and Balthazar's like, "Alright, you can fucking deport me back to hell or whatever, but you aren't gonna get anywhere by doing that." And Constantine's like, "Deport you? No, I'm gonna read you your last rites." This is very funny.
Yeah, he tricks him into talking.
He's trying to send this demon to heaven as a trick to get this demon to talk. Demon Talks explains what they're planning or whatever, that they found the Spear of Longinus, which, honestly, Constantine should have known that from the picture that the demon drew at the beginning of the movie. It don't matter. Maybe Constantine drew that picture. Maybe Balthazar drew that picture. I don't know.
maybe Constantine doesn't know what it looks like.
Maybe.
Just knows of it mythological.
Yeah, where are we at? He goes, "Haha, you idiot. The only way I could actually read you your rights is if you were a willing recipient." And then he just, like, I guess
Yeah.
shoots Balthazar and
He
leaves.
was like, "Oh, and now I feel stupid." Poor
Which,
Bally.
Constantine is... He is absolutely winning out because of his Catholic knowledge lore checks.
Gerald Core.
Gerald Core. Anyways.
Oh, and then there's that building scene where Angela gets pulled through an entire
Yes,
building.
Gabriel grabs Angela, pulls her through the skyscraper from one side to the other and out the window.
And he's just running after her.
Constantine breaks into a sprint, trying to catch up. Can't.
Such a funny,
Such a fun
scene.
Yeah, love it.
I have classic villain kills henchman scene.
Mammon kills Balthazar by just like blowing some wind on him, I guess.
I thought Gabriel killed Balthazar.
No.
Oh shit!
I thought Gabriel showed up and because you don't see the person in the room, and Mammon hasn't been summoned yet.
I just assumed it was Mammon.
It
Well,
might be
it's
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Not like
It might just all be Gabriel.
That
Because
is
Gabriel's
true.
trying to keep it a secret. He's like, I did what you asked. They were working together.
All Gabriel, all the way down.
Wow. So he needs Midnight's help.
Okay, firstly, he has to convince Midnight to help. And Midnight is like, oh, I'm on equal bail to both sides. Constantine's like, yeah, how's that working out? The balance is broken anyways. John gets into the chair. Midnight's like, this might kill you, and John's
He's
perfectly
trying to
fine
figure out
with
where
it.
the spear guy is.
Yeah, there we go.
And he does like a fucking Professor X-esque,
Yeah.
sits in the chair.
Instead of a bathtub, he chose an electric chair.
Yeah, and he
Yep.
just psychic jumps to all over the place. He can see what's going on. He sees the guy with the spear going to the gas station, getting the car and driving up, and then getting to the psychiatric ward.
My next note says, Chaz, finally useful.
Chaz returns from an hour. I should do a Chaz clock.
Yeah.
I should time out how long it is before he comes back.
God.
I say Shia was in it the perfect amount. I love how it seems like they forgot about him for a bit.
I wanted more.
No, that's
I
fine.
needed a more Chaz.
He
What
came
kind
back
of
in the
more
He's
first.
got that whole setup going on. With,
I
all
like
this
Chaz
shit.
more than Angela.
He's like, look at all these potions and other things I've done. And
You
they're just
jump-
like, meh, whatever.
You jump
Yeah.
from the scene where he's useless to the scene where he's useful, and you don't have the arc of him being like, Constantine, I can help, I'll convince you, and all that stuff. You just
He wasn't ready.
well, why is he ready now? He was ready before.
Right.
He wasn't
Nothing
ready.
happened to make him ready now.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready then. The difference is Mammon coming back and
The
taking
difference
over.
was the stakes.
Yeah.
And now the stakes are high enough that Constantine's alright with taking him on a mission he'll probably die on.
Yeah. And he proved
He's
himself.
just
too.
a terrible. They should have just left him out.
I do think he was in it the perfect amount because when I saw him again, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. Hell yeah. If he was in it throughout, it would have been ungodly annoying. Also, how would he have had the weird, romantic tension with Angela the whole time if Chaz was there?
Chaz goes from the scene where he couldn't get into the club to the scene where he does get into the club. There's nothing between these two scenes that he's in.
Yeah, that's true.
That seems a little odd.
They just
I feel like him getting to go into the club and meet Midnight was originally intended to be Constantine bringing him on board.
That's what it was.
No, it wasn't, because there's no scenes between the two.
But I think Midnight likes Chaz, right?
Yeah.
So
Midnight's
That's
like,
the
I
only
can recruit
reason
you
he-
after.
he's able to go with Constantine because Midnight is like, oh, this dude is cool. Why aren't you letting him help?
Isn't that when they're leaving?
Well, that's when they leave. They go to Chaz's place. He's got all this shit going on to help out, and they're planning their final mission to go to that building where they have Angela, I think. The spear guy goes into the pool.
Yeah, they leave Angela in the pool, and then the spear guy shows up.
Yeah, the spear guy drowns Angela, trapping her in hell, then possesses.
Why would she be trapped in hell if he's drowned her? How do you know she was trapped in hell?
They show you.
They literally show you she's in hell, and all the demons are around her going ah, ha, 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 ha. And I wrote,
Yeah.
they really like that demon soldier model.
But yeah, so before that, they have this plan to put the holy water in the sprinklers, and so Chaz, they enter the building. Constantine and Chaz goes and poisons the water or whatever with the holy water.
Yeah, he blesses
While
her.
Constantine goes into the room with all the demons, and then they turn on the sprinklers. The holy water is hurting all of them. Demon killing spree.
Yeah, very, very, very zombie. Very Shaun of the Dead. Don't stop me now.
Oh yeah, Chaz shoots a demon that is about to get Constantine when Constantine's out of ammo. And that's when he swaps
Yeah.
the two cylinders over from the gold one to the gray one. Chaz saves him for the second time by pulling him out of the pool so that the possessed Angela cannot drown him. So that's Chaz save number 2. And then Constantine is exercising Angela.
It's ironic because it's Angela drowning Constantine.
Yeah. A little bit of irony.
Wow.
Wow.
Only kind of hot.
Only kind of hot. Gotcha.
Chaz dies.
Oh yeah.
Who cares?
They like. Okay. Constantine is like failing at exorcising the demon from Angela, and then Chaz comes over and starts helping with the exorcist. We've only seen 2 exorcisms from Constantine. Both of them big fans.
Imagine having your notifications on.
Imagine having your notifications on. Honestly, Chaz probably a better exorcist than him. Scene number 3 is Chaz, fixing his botched exorcism.
Chaz
Everything's fine. Everybody's celebrating. Chaz is like, I'm finally redeemed. I'm like a full-on exorcist now. And then it does the funniest plot twist by launching him into the ceiling. Gabriel, invisible, starts smacking him into floors and ceilings and whatnot until his neck breaks and he cracks.
I'm not hyperbole. I think that's conjecture. We don't know if it's Gabriel.
We know it's Gabriel.
Do we?
We do know.
Immediately after Constantine is like, reveal yourself!
Yeah.
And then Gabriel appears.
Remember when
it's supposed to be sad that Chaz dies, but it's like, we barely even know you.
It's so funny.
Tattoo.
He's got this scene where he saves everything. And then he immediately dies after.
Yeah, then he says, it's not like the books, as he dies.
Gabriel then gets ready to stab the Spear of Longinus through Angela after, tossing Constantine through a door or something. I really don't remember how that happened. Gabriel has this whole speech about being like, I will be like the harshness that's inflicted upon humanity to make them deserve everlasting.
But she doesn't think that they
After
deserve God's love. Right?
Yeah.
What's with the feet?
Yes, actually, I did note Gabriel feet.
The
entire time she has a speech,
she's
got her toes on Constantine's face.
Face or neck?
It makes it very distracting.
I think it's just a dominance thing.
No, her toes.
I don't remember that at all, though.
It is against his cheek.
Could have shoes.
I don't remember.
There's like a
it couldn't be that goofy because I didn't write it down.
It is very distracting, and I missed the entire speech.
You need to start watching feet.
I was more
movies.
Paying attention.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I need to.
Directors
more feet
really
detail.
tell.
This is really a you thing, Jack.
You know.
Gotta keep your eye on the ball.
It's like watching The Wolf in Puss in Boots. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not actively aware of what's going on, you don't get it. But I've seen a Tarantino movie. So I was like, why are these feet on Keanu Reeves' face?
It takes up a quarter of the screen, Jack.
You should go back and watch it.
Maybe I was writing my notes as that was happening. I wasn't looking.
Although I do like all the hospital
She's like moving her foot around. She's driving it in.
I think that's just...
No, it's there's like a caress.
Dude.
Yeah?
Dominance.
Dominance.
It's okay. It's a very common thing, Jack.
What?
It's okay.
What?
Shut up, Noah.
It's okay.
What?
So I need to bring up Gabriel implied dogs can't be redeemed. She says this line about how, heaven is the only creatures that can suffer and prove that they are, able to be recipients of God's love are humans. That absolutely implies dogs can't go to heaven. That is in this setting. Anyways, just thought I had to mention that. Anyways,
John Constantine
is in the next room now. Gabriel needs to, cut this demon out of the belly of Angela. Now that, the demon's, coming back to life inside her or whatever, right?
Yeah, Mammon.
The big bad.
One and only.
He's like, alright, I just remembered the foreshadowing at the beginning of the movie. All I gotta do is kill myself and it'll fix all this. Because by killing himself, he guarantees that Satan will show up, because that throwaway line earlier where Satan was like, or when Midnight was like, Satan would come personally to collect your soul. And so Constantine kills himself, Satan shows up and is like, you know what they said? I'd come personally to collect your soul.
Yeah.
As a little callback to that line. It's cool, but also really dumb that they had to call that much attention to it.
Time stops so Constantine can talk to Satan.
I like the weird makeup on Satan, like on the side of his
Yes.
head where those like purpley veins sit. I liked his tattoos that
I
he had.
guess.
He looked like an overworked businessman, but also like CEO vibes.
Yeah.
He seemed like he'd be hopped up on cocaine.
I like the like CEO like.
I mean, yeah, it
Whatever
makes
vibe.
sense. I do like it how he's just kind of like the calm, chill dude, but like, he's the devil, so he's got like, his rules and agenda going on. But he's not like crazy like the Joker or anything.
Oh, and the
I just didn't like the whispering and
Him appearing,
the
really
CG
cool.
of him walking in the glass.
Yes. So Constantine convinces
Expected
the
version.
devil, the literal devil. Gabriel and Mammon are working together in the next room over. And because time freezes when you're dying, it means that they're caught basically as red-handed as they could be. And the devil's like, alright, I've waited this long to get your soul, I can wait another 20 seconds. We didn't even mention the devil having fun with his cigarette. Constantine puts a cigarette into his mouth, and tries to light it, and the devil's like, yeah, your tendons don't work anymore when you slit your arms. Here, let me get that for you. And he leans in to light it, and then he pulls the lighter back, and Constantine leans a little bit forward, pulls it back again. He's just like taunting him with it, and then he finally lights the cigarette, and he's like, oh, I've got all sorts of things prepared for you. I love the idea. It's all just minor petty shit like that. I love this devil so much. He walks over, he breaks his way through the door just by walking through it. Glass flies everywhere. He walks up, takes a look at what's happening, unfreezes time. Does he like knock Gabriel back or something? I don't know. He stops Gabriel from being able to cut the devil out. And he picks up Angela. What's really cool in the CGI of this scene is on the ground are reflective tiles. And whenever the camera pans down, you see that like he's holding Angela up, but also holding the devil. I mean the demon Mammon, his demon child Mammon.
Devil's son. Mammon.
Devil's son Mammon. And like he's basically doing the same exorcism that happened at the beginning of the movie with the mirror. It's really cool.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because I guess it's the type of exorcism you use when a demon's trying to come through into the real world.
That's cool.
And he has some like choice words for Gabriel, nothing too impressive. But then he just fucking blasts her with like some sort of beam. There's like a line where Gabriel's like trying to punch the devil and it doesn't work. And the devil's like, I guess someone doesn't have your back anymore. And that's when he takes Gabriel's wings away.
I like when he starts dragging John Constantine and he
Yes.
can't. And he starts to stop and the floor like goes and like starts
No.
breaking.
We keep doing things out of order now.
That's
The
what happens
next
next.
scene, no, something important happens before that. The devil walks in and he's like, so what do you want?
Oh.
And because he
That's
thinks
right.
there's some kind of trade here. That Constantine was like, alright, devil, here's your son and Gabriel working together. Now save my life. He thinks that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But Constantine surprises the devil. That's not what he wants. Instead, he says, I want to save Isabel, the person that went to hell. Which, by the way, that only happened because of some bullshit. And because it needed to be this way to line up this sort of self-sacrifice at the end. So Constantine commits self-sacrifice to save Isabel and bring her back instead. The devil's shocked by this. Everybody's shocked by this. But he's like, alright, I really want your soul, so yes. The devil starts to drag Constantine's soul down to hell. And then you realize, oh, there's a little bit of a switcheroo going on here. He can't actually drag Constantine to hell because Constantine just, committed an act of self-sacrifice. He damned himself to hell to save Isabel.
Mm.
There's a lot of things that happen in really quick succession here. The devil goes, alright, I can't have you going to heaven. I need you to be still existing on earth because to make sure that you've got more time to sin. And he also drags the tumors out of this man, out of his chest in the process.
So he saves him so he's not dying so God can't claim him.
Exactly.
Job done.
Well,
And-
now, hide it.
Hmm?
Hide it.
Hide what?
Hide it.
It?
Hide it. It's the scene after this.
Oh, yeah.
They're on the roof, which, by the way, is referenced in Chainsaw Man opening.
It is?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a ton of different like movie references in that, and like that scene of those two on the roof is a reference to Chainsaw Man, which I think is really funny. This is a cult classic film, widely renowned, and I just really like that.
Well, first Gabriel
I
wants
just
death,
hide it.
but John doesn't kill Gabriel.
Oh,
Right,
that's
I
true.
forgot about that. And Gabriel has this great line where she's like, or he, I think, is like, hey, you're learning. You didn't kill me. Totally could have done that. You're becoming a good person now. It feels really weird for Gabriel to say that at this point, but I love it. Makes for a great character.
I think it's like a sort of chiding to incentivize John to do so. Right?
Ah,
You know what I mean?
maybe.
I think part of how she is speaking to him and what she is saying is to like influence John, and he's just like impervious to it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I read that all as very not sarcastic, just like straightforward.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was just sarcastic.
Oh,
And then
damn, I thought that was good characterization in this movie.
And then he eats the gum.
there's also a fake kiss again from Constantine and Angie.
It wasn't fake. It was just like it was.
It
Like
was a fake,
Well, then why didn't they?
almost, because they shouldn't be. I don't know why it's there.
Because there's not enough there.
I would rather the almost than it happening with
Well,
it
yeah.
feeling un.
I'd rather just not.
You know what I'm saying?
Gives her the spear. There's a joke about not being flowers for a moment. Doesn't
Uh-huh.
really land.
Hide it.
Hide it.
Hide it.
The
I
gum.
forget the gum.
Instead of smoking a cigarette, like he switched to gum now.
Gotta
Movie
go.
ends. Then, after
Credits.
credits,
Chaz.
he visits Chaz's grave, puts the lighter on the tombstone,
Yep.
and then Chad is an angel. Big whoop-de-doo.
That
He's
is
walking
stupid
away,
jump,
and he
like,
looks
woo.
back, and Chaz is like standing on the gravestone as an angel, like, crouched there like a bird, and then flies away into the sky.
No one cares about Chaz. They didn't make us care about Chaz.
And then why did you want more of him?
Because I wanted to care.
about Chaz.
I wanted to care, wanted more Chaz.
8 out of 10, great aesthetics.
So-
My sister says makes me want to draw.
It makes me want to draw, I guess.
I like how
Makes
they
me
did
want-
wings. I will say, Gabriel being turned into a human at the end made me really think about what are they going to do about wings. Because Gabriel's wings are stubs on their back now.
I'm assuming they'll fall off completely.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
like-
think you gotta walk around with
like a
wing
scab.
stubs.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Do you think everyone could see him now?
Probably.
Oh no, you're gonna have some X-Men scene.
Exactly.
Oh, maybe no one can see the stubs still.
Well, then you have to have holes in the back of what you're wearing.
I think now
Well,
we do.
they're still
I guess
little.
they didn't have to before.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna think about it.
Yeah, well, let's not think about it. It makes sense if you don't
You
think
did a
about
good job, John.
it.
You're learning.
So, rating, I'd say 7 out of 10. As a one-time watch,
Oh, it's come up.
decent movie.
You brought your score up.
Yeah, I guess.
I think I've gone down. I'm back to not really liking Angela very much. I'm at 6.
You're at a 6.
Yeah.
I
Very
s-
mid movie.
I say 8. Aesthetics, fantastic. It's up my alley of interests as far as it being like a brooding detective slash I guess vague occult themes. I just think it's a really interesting concept, and it was done surprisingly well. I think this movie could have been absolute trash. I don't think it's
Did you know
Morbius 2 so bad.
it could have been worse?
I want to know how they deal with other pantheons, or if it's only the Catholic pantheon that matters,
It's,
and how that.
well, it's DC Universe.
So it can't be.
Constantine 2, actually, I looked it up. There's potential for it.
I have a
Keanu
quote.
Reeves
He said he wants to do it.
says he wants to do it again.
Yeah, he said it's almost like an open playground there. We can hopefully cook something up and play it, and I guess get out of the playground and prepare a meal. But I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully it can happen. You don't know how these things go, but I'm definitely going to try my darndest to try and realize that dream.
There's been
He
very
wants
recent talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
As recent as last year,
Something
2
like
years
that,
ago.
yeah. I think last year.
he said.
it's funding problem. I don't think he
Funding
wants to do
problem.
it.
He said, "Can I please have some more?" In
Yeah.
an interview.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah, Keanu Reeves.
Alright, so potential viewer, you could be seeing Gabriel's feet on a theater screen near you.
No. Constantine.
John Constantine.
John Constantine.